Hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching. This is another episode in our neck building series, and I really hate that I have to make this episode because today we're going to talk about two things I am not a super fan of, but I begrudgingly have come to accept. One of them is Inlay on the Fretboard, and the other is the CNC machine. Let's talk a little bit about each one of those things individually. I know that there are a lot of people who love inlay, blocks or trapezoids or something custom, and I totally get that, but it's never been something that I am a fan of. Now, I am a big enough person to admit that just because I do or don't like something doesn't mean that you don't or do like something. So inlay is something that here at Texas Toast we have begrudgingly started to do. Actually, what happened was we sold so many guitars trying to convince people to not put inlay on that we upgraded the machinery that we have to do inlay, and are attempting now to do more of that. So we're offering that as a service more than trying to convince people to not do it. That brings me to something that I also have kind of railed on in the last decade, and that is CNC machines. I tell you what, guys, I admit it, I was wrong about CNC machines, especially for stuff like inlay. So, yes, I will have to eat my hat one day. Hopefully I'll get one made out of beef jerky or fruit roll-ups or something. But yes, CNCs are super cool, especially for doing stuff like inlay. Especially if you're doing blocks like this and you want them to look right, man. I'm not saying you can't do it the old school way, but it sure is easier with the CNC. So like on this Challenger Custom, this is a Black Beauty with custom, kind of LP style custom inlay. This guitar, by the way, is on the website as of the filming of this for sale right now. So if you want this cool guitar, it can be yours today. Unless somebody buys it by the time you watch this. I don't know. In any event, enough with the bullshit talk. Let's jump right in. I'm going to show you the best and easiest way to do block inlay. And of course, it's give it to Chris to do. Hey Chris, will you put inlay in this for me?
Sure, Matt. LP custom style blocks. Got it. So once again, we're going to use our locating pins to square up our tapered neck to a squared surface so that I can actually use the CNC machine easily. I like to also use some double stick tape to make sure that it doesn't move around. And the other thing that I like to do is actually cut the inlay first, and that way as soon as it comes off the CNC, as soon as this comes off the CNC machine, I can pop in the blocks and glue them in. One time I waited a couple of days and I had to make new blocks because the neck had moved around just enough that they didn't fit anymore. So those two little pins go in our template here, there and there.
So that gives you a straight edge.
Yeah, that gives you a straight edge. When we set this up, I'll show you how that works. It's actually really easy. Okay, so let's go make some blocks. So that's my 0 point for X and Y. And I'm going to use our touch plate here for the Z axis. That's the up and down. And you can set it, touch that there.
No one can see what you're doing.
Yeah, I know. This comes down, and it's zeros. You're just going to have to take my word for it. Alright, now we're ready to cut some blocks. Okay, now I'm going to cut the blocks into the neck. And the way we do that, I don't know if you can see, but I've actually got a straight line that runs perpendicular to this axis, back and forth this way, for this to index off of. And then I can actually use it, the template on the back of the neck, as a hold down. To hold down our template. And this is the starting point of the program. It's the middle of my neck project. On that last program I started it in the corner, and that's easier on something like that program, but this one, to make it work right, I have to start it in the middle of the project. And I've still got my little 30-second bit on here because it's easier for me to line up that little point with that little point than it is with the 1/8 bit that we're going to start and do our first clearing pass with. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is set my 0. Okay, so that's done. Now I need to change the bit, and I'm going to go to an 1/8" bit because that will make fast work out of that initial clearing pass. So my X and Y are zeroed, but I still need to zero my Z axis, which is up and down, and I'm going to use that same tool that I used before. It's magnetic, and as soon as it touches that plate, it knows how thick the plate is and accounts for that. And now we're set at 0. And then need to load the file. Alright. Something else I like to do is make sure that my first pass goes, because it's going to go down, I think, and go to the 21st fret, which is this one here. So I want to make sure that that's where it goes to, just in case I made any errors. I don't want to mess up the project now. Alright, here we go. Maybe I should count frets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, which is where we are. 22, 23, 24. So this is a 24 fret neck. But it looks like it's in the right position, so we'll continue with the program. So Matt informed me that this is indeed a 24 fret neck. That's why I was so confused. It's for a different guitar. I thought it was for a Challenger. It's not. I've put my 32nd router bit back in and re-zeroed my X, or I'm sorry, my Z, my up and down. My X and Y stay the same, so no need to change that. This bit will clean up the edge and tighten up the corners, because an 1/8" router bit will only do a 1/16 inch radius. So anyway, here we go. So all of our pieces are cut out and all of our pockets are cut, and I vacuumed them out and I checked them just to make sure they were good before I started filming, and they all fit really, really well. So the next thing to do is to put them in. Lately what I've been doing is putting down just a little super glue, unless your super glue is clogged, and then you don't put any down. So all of our pieces are cut out and all of our pockets are cut, and I test fit a couple of them and they fit really, really well. I didn't even push them all the way in. I just made sure that they were going to drop right in. So the next thing to do is to put them in place. So what I've been doing recently is I put a little super glue in, and then this is an extra one, I push them in, and that was way too much super glue. But we can fix that on the next one. Just a little bit of super glue. Put them in. And these fit really snug. They could also use epoxy. I could also, since these fit so good, put it in first and then flood it with super glue. Like that. Either way, the ones that I originally did, I'll probably go back and flood a little bit more around them. And they sit just a little bit proud, and once it's dry, then we'll sand that flat, or maybe we'll just wait until we do the radius, because these are just about flush. And I'm getting covered in super glue too, which is always fun. And that is how we do block inlays. And trapezoids are basically identical.
Alright gang, so that was just kind of a quick, how it's done. If you want to know more about like how the CNC works and program and all that stuff, I'm the wrong guy to ask, because as far as I'm concerned, I go, hey Chris, do this, and then like he pushes a button and magic shit happens, and happy meal for me, because I don't have to do it. But as far as understanding how it works, I got no clue. So if you guys like this video, please give me the thumbs up. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so now. And if you appreciate content like this, you might want to go over to our Patreon page and consider becoming a member. Even $1 a month goes a long way to helping us bring you guys neat stuff like this. You can also join on YouTube. Hit the little join button on the YouTube thing, and like I said, even $1 a month goes a long way to helping us out. If you can't do it though, totally get it. Just share the video as many places as you can think of and help us grow the channel that way. If you want to come to a class, you can do the same inlay on your class neck and one of our build your own guitar workshops. That is a super cool thing to do, and that is a video for another time. So until then, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel. That's what I did. We'll see y'all next time. Have a great one, guys.